Welcome back. This second video is going to explain the fundamentals of how to correctly hold the violin bow. So there's many ways to hold the violin bow. You'll hear lots of terms being thrown around in academic circles, like the Russian bow hold, or the Glamian bow hold, or the Franco-Belgian school of bowing, and such stuff. The method of holding the bow I'm going to explain today is based on ideas that I learned from my teacher Shokuaki at Yale University, Gerardo Ribeiro, my professor at Northwestern University, and my childhood Suzuki violin teacher, Idelo, from Los Angeles. Okay, so the bow is held in the right hand, and the thing to keep in mind is that every finger on the bow hand has a specific role to play. Okay, so let's just explore those fingers one by one. Okay, the fingers that keep the bow from falling to the floor are the thumb and middle finger. So those fingers. And where do we place those? If we look closely at the frog, okay, the frog is this big wooden piece right here. And then there's this leather grip. Your thumb goes right in this space between the frog and the leather grip. And your middle finger sort of wraps around the bow right on top. Okay, and if you look from side view, the important thing is that there's this big arched shape. It makes kind of a circle. Yeah, as opposed to a straight shape. That's no good. We want more of the circle shape. Okay, and so if I hold the bow like this, there you go, the bow's not falling on the floor. But if I let go with my left hand, you'll see that the stick itself now, even though it's not going to fall to the floor, it's out of control. Okay, so the job of the remaining fingers is to steer the bow. Steer the bow. Steer the bow stick. So let's just take a look here at our right hand. I contact the bow stick right on this first joint. So on the first finger, second finger, and third finger. That's where I put the stick. Okay. But then the pinky I leave on the tip, on its tip, on the top of the bow. And then I put my thumb back in that space. So here's my finished bow grip. And so the significant features to notice. One, all my fingers are curved. And then my first finger is a little bit further away from the middle two, and the pinky is a little bit further away from the other ones. Okay, so if I'm holding the bow correctly, it should feel pretty stable. So I'm just gonna kind of move the bow side to side, and you'll see it feeling pretty good, feeling pretty stable. And you don't want to grip the bow too tightly, just enough that it's not going to fall to the floor. So see, I have this first finger, middle finger is kind of loose, and then the pinky is kind of loose. And so remember, so here's our first finger, our thumb and middle finger rather, holding the bow. The job of the pinky is just to raise the tip, and the job of the first finger is when it's time to apply the bow to the string, you'll see we'll use that to apply pressure to the stick with the first finger. We'll get more into that, the technique, in a later video. Okay, so for now, the main thing we should just keep in mind is that 5 fingers, they all have a role. Thumb and middle fingers are the ones that keep the bow stick from falling to the floor. And then fingers 1, 3, and 4 are used for steering the bow. Okay, and this is important for later videos. If you're holding the bow correctly, you should be relaxed enough to move your fingers in 3 motions. So let me just show you these 3 motions. Okay, so we have the motion number 1 is first finger is long and pinky is curled, and then you switch it. Okay, this motion is used to steer the bow tip. So here we go. If I have my first finger straight and pinky curved, the bow tip is pointing away from me, right? And then if I switch them, the bow stick moves behind me. So see, I have this. If you look carefully, my first finger, you can see it. I'm flexible enough that I can have this motion like this. Okay. Also, if I'm holding the bow correctly, my fingers should be relaxed enough that they can move up and down, like I'm dropping them to the floor and picking them up. Okay, so here I'm holding the bow. Should be relaxed enough that I can scoop up my fingers and then drop them. Right. And the last motion that we need to be able to do for the next video is a combination of both. I'm doing the first finger and pinky straight, and then also doing a drop motion that'll move the stick sort of horizontally. So this one's a little bit more difficult. And we'll see these motions into play in a later video. as well. So hope this was helpful, and send me a picture of your bow grip, and we can see if it's doing well or not. See you next time.